Call Halalim La Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bahashem Makakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders. Peace, blessing, mercy, and salutation to all the brothers out there teaching the truth and sincerity. In the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So, I just finished watching a video from Apostle Gabar showing the wickedness of the IUIC leader, Bishop Nathaniel, which I believe he worships the devil. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll try to put a little screenshot in there. I'll go to it. But if I remember, the Spirit remembers with me. Revelation 17:7. But the angel said to me, "Why do you marvel? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and of the beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns that carries her." So, the mystery of the woman, we all know who the woman is. America, Babylon the Great, and the beast is Rome, and the 7 heads and 10 horns are the nations that sprung out of it and follow their leadership. And part of that leadership came in the language, because the language that we're using 2,000 years ago was Latin, and it's the closest thing to English and letter per letter. So the Roman numerals came from those letters, and English language and Spanish and other languages came from that. So what does the beast have? And it says it's 10 horns. So let me just get this thing, because these are the things that if you're doing on accident, you stop doing, right? When I see myself do those gestures, I stop. But this man was praying. So you can see this is on Tumblr. And look at this. This is beautiful. Well, this is part of... If you are looking at this and you got a scared feeling in your stomach, you need to tighten that box up. You need to put those nuts up in your... next to your body. Tuck them in. So we have 2 hand gestures there, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of the Mexican history before I get the actual history, and to show you how the beast is the Roman Empire, and they're still propagating that, because this goes back to then. Okay, so what I want you to focus on is the first one is a mano fico. The second one, meaning the first one is the left, and then the second one is the right. So mano fico is a hand fig, which represents the vulva, or heterosexual intercourse. And then we have the horned hands, which represents the beast, right? The devil, right? Because in folklore, the devil has horns. Now, speaking about folklore, you see this upside down star? But what I was saying is beautiful is 1 Samuel 15:23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. So I'm sick and tired of looking at that shit. The 2 gestures. Oh, but the history was the one on the left with the thumb in between the forefinger and the middle finger, the index finger and the middle finger, is in Mexican culture, where I'm from. You do that when you say "toma tus cheques." Like, if someone's talking shit, you just do that to them, and that is witchcraft, right? Because you're putting a spell on them. If someone is being cheated on, or someone has a relationship and it's the woman or the man is an adulterer, how you would let the spouse know is making that horn hand. And the phrase that would come out is te están poniendo los cuernos. So that means, or they call them a venado, because it has what? Horns. So this has been going on in our culture since Rome, right? Let's just leave it at that. Apotrapaic, gotta do it. That's what you do when you don't understand what the fuck that word is. Supposedly having the power to avert evil influences or bad luck. And the little explanation is apotropaic magic. Apotropaic magic is a type of magic intended to turn away harm or evil influence, but you can't. It's impossible. You can't. If Satan cast out Satan, there you go. As in deflecting misfortune or averting the evil eye. So, in order for you to do that, what you got to do is be a man of the Lord. Start praying, and then that will get you where you got to go. Which this is not to warn off evil spirits. You're invoking evil spirits. Okay? The Mano cornuto is an Italian amulet of ancient origin. Examples have been found from Roman era. So this goes back to the Roman era, right? When the beast, right? And then, gotta do it. Got to do it. And there's many other scriptures that we can get, but this is a classic. So Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Alright, so who's the wicked? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So if it's in your hand, you're in control, right? When you're playing video games, you got what in your hand? You got the controller. Doing what? Controlling the avatar that you see on the screen. So the wicked forces are in rule right now for a moment, and those are your bankers and the military men and the false priests. Because I say false priests because there's still Israelites in there. They're still in there doing things that they shouldn't, but he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So that's what we're talking about right now. Oops. That's what we're talking about. He's making it seem like it's not a bad thing, but it really is a bad thing. Alright? Examples have been found in the Roman era, and it was also used by the Etruscans. Let's look that up too, man. Why not? Why not? Because it's a learning experience. Uh-oh. So that's in Rome. Oh man, see, there's so much learning to do. And I'm gonna say it like in my religion, the Hebrew Israelite. If you want to, I just want you to understand. Okay, your religion is Christianity. You don't learn nothing. You don't know nothing. Look at all these things that if I go into, I won't have time for adultery. I won't have time for none of those bullshit things. Okay, that's what I want to know. See, we know that that's Italy up on the left, and there's art depicting, things about that. Alright. So, an Etruscan would be someone that believes in that way of, Renaissance and all that bullshit. It's like if you're playing Assassin's Creed, the first one that came out. First couple, they were in the Renaissance era, and it showed how the church was wicked and all these things that happened on the sidelines. Alright? Mano means hand, and corno means horn. So that shows you that the Latin that they were using in that era survived and extended into many other different languages because those people went around all over the place and started planting their seed too. The charm, and when you make that hand, the hand becomes a charm. The charm represents a gesture in which in the index and little fingers are extended while the middle and ring fingers are curled into the palm. That's exactly what Nate's hand was doing. Among some people, this is the sign of a man who has been slighted, cheated on, or betrayed by a lover, but it is also widely used as a protective gesture against impotency. No, I'm sorry, impotency. Let me see what that is. Of course, right? Let's see what that is. Erectile dysfunction. I guess if you worship Satan, you have an erection problem. All right. So that's all I really wanted to get. I mean, that last comment. There's more I can go into, but I should just do it, right? It's almost over. It's a couple more paragraphs. Why not? So now let's go to the next paragraph. The mano fica, the fig hand. And if you've seen these signs, rebuke them. If they're being pointed at you, rebuke them. Nadad mayanya shaitan. But like I said, faith is in action. Faith is in action. Another method of the same origin for warding the evil eye. You know, this is it's like mixed up in lies. Guard, protect, admit to, or care for in hospital ward. That's another lesson. Well, I might as well just say a little bit about that because the medical industry is part of the military. The circumvallation is what they use by injecting the needle into the skin, and that is a military process. So that's a good video to make. That's another one I'll I'm gonna do that. Is for warding to admit to. It says to, like a hospital, right? Like you're a patient and you get admitted to center. You're in there. It represents a hand gesture. Oh, my bad. The evil eye. No. Let me read the whole thing. Another method for the same origin for warding the evil eye is a mano fica, or figa, meaning fig. It represents a hand gesture in which the thumb is thrust between the curled index and middle fingers, imitating heterosexual intercourse. The logic here was that since the evil eye worked by drying up the generative fluids, the gesture of sexual act could counteract it. But when you're having sex, I mean, it's got to be with somebody that you're procreating with. Like, you got to get her pregnant. And we ain't doing that right now. You know, it's too dangerous. Both hand charms could be made as magic. And if it's magic, it's wicked. A apotropaic gesture, or worn as an amulet, usually made of silver. Though older Neapolitan Mano charms were also carved with blood coral. And you're going to get the explanation of why silver was used and why blood coral was used. The Neapolitan custom is of making such charms from silver, which is sacred to the moon goddess Luna, and blood coral sacred to the sea goddess Venus. So see, you're worshiping, if you're not worshiping Satan and you say you made the sign, you always make, okay, well, you always make the sign, well, then you're worshiping these goddesses. Hints at the cultural survival of a link between the horned animal head gesture and the vulva gesture of the mano fica in ancient Roman goddess worship. Let me read that again. In ancient Roman goddess worship. So you're worshiping someone that's not Yahweh Shem Yahushua, your ass is grass. And in reference to their horn-bearing consort. There you go. Everything has to do with Semiramis or Baphomet. It always goes back to something. It always goes back to something. Modernly equated with the devil or horned god. So that we got all up into that, broke it down, destroyed it. Now we're going to go back over here. See, and I'm gonna put this together. Psalm 92 and 10. But you have exalted my horn like that of the wild ox, because it's ultimately, look, the left hand and the right hand both belong to Yahweh. You have poured over me fresh oil, so you're giving them power, right? You're renewing something. You're renewing your worship of something. Every time we call it to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we're renewing what? Our faith. All right, this is a good one. Revelation 19 and 20. And the beast was captured, and with it the false prophet, who in its presence had done the signs by which he deceives those who receive the mark of the beast and those who worshipped its images. So the hand gesture are those images too, because it survived from the Etruscan era, which is a Roman era. It's a culture. That's an image. Why the fuck do you think United States builds buildings with the fucking columns in it? To survive the culture. And the beast was captured, and with it the false prophet, who in its presence had done the signs by which he deceived those who had received the mark of the beast and those who worshipped its image. Two different things. Those two were thrown alive into the lake of fire that burns with sulfur. So they're going to catch missiles. Going to catch some missiles. So with that, I hope this was edifying. Watch out for those hand gestures, man. So, shalom till next time.